Hi, welcome to HorrorGirl. So today I'm reviewing Talk to Me. On a whim, basically, not really a whim, I knew it was coming out, but I mean, it was sort of like a last minute, like, oh, let's go, I want to see this movie. So we decided to see it last weekend. And I had obviously seen the previews, and I was very curious about it based on the previews because they looked really interesting. And, if you've seen it, it says, like, the scariest movie of the year. And I'm really glad that I sort of trusted my instincts and went to see this movie because it was really well done. And honestly, stepping on cords, I wasn't really expecting anything else from A24, just given their track records thus far. Hereditary, Midsummer, etc. Everything they do seems to be really, really good, or at least interesting. And but anyway, Talk to Me follows a group of teenagers, and one in particular, I think her name's Mia. And it's basically about them dealing with the ramifications of messing around with this hand that allows you to commune with spirits. And I did watch one review where someone was like, oh, that's really unbelievable, that's unrealistic, that the teenagers would continue to mess around with this hand in this game after seeing, what happened, that it actually was working. But I really disagreed with that because, first of all, the movie did address that at the beginning. They have the characters kind of being like, well, this isn't real, it's just on social media. And so I think there is sort of that thought at the beginning of, well, we can just see what happens, but we think it's all a social media, trick or whatever. But then, even when they find out it's real, they keep doing it, and this reviewer also thought that was unrealistic, and I didn't, because teenagers do dumb shit all the time. And if you, when you were a teenager, found this hand that allowed you to do this thing, I think a lot of us would probably be kind of interested, especially as in the case of the main character. If you're grieving someone or have lost someone and you have a chance to talk to them or potentially talk to them, it's very interesting to you. So I don't think it was unrealistic that these characters kept doing this, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, the movie follows the teenagers, and I thought it was really well done, and it does make you question at certain points whether what you're seeing is even real or not. And that was the part I actually loved the most, was when we got out of the movie, I was like, oh, none of that was real. She was seeing stuff. Or I don't want to give away too much, but basically you have a, I guess, unreliable protagonist because you don't know if what she's seeing is real. And the ending was really good. And I usually do see those coming, but I honestly was so on edge and not really thinking that much. I was just like, oh god, this is really scary. So I didn't have a lot of critical thinking happening. Another reviewer also said that this was the best horror movie of 2023, and just like the previews were saying, but I honestly disagree so much. I think I'm planning on doing a review of Evil Dead Rise anyway, but in my opinion, that was the best horror movie of 2023 so far. So much that I actually saw it 2 weekends in a row. I couldn't wait to see it again. I was like, we need to go see that again. And I bought it on Blu-ray as soon as I possibly could, which I don't really buy a ton of movies on Blu-ray anymore or DVD. I tend to just get them digitally, but there are certain ones that you just want to own, and that in person, and that was one of them. I loved it. I don't know that I would necessarily want to see Talk to Me again. I think once you know the ending, you kind of don't need to watch again. Although, having said that, given that the narrator or the protagonist is slightly unreliable, it might be interesting to watch it again, just see if you can tell what's real, what's not, that kind of thing. But I don't know, it's just not something I need to like go see right now again, like I did with Evil Dead Rise. Like Evil Dead Rise, even now I could still watch it like 10 times in a row and still want to watch more of it. But I'll talk more about that in that review. But anyway, okay. So Talk to Me was a very tense experience for me. So much like other, you know, Pet Sematary, stuff like that, I felt very squirrely. And the last time I felt this squirrely was during Smile. When I saw that in the theater, I was doing much of the same stuff, like just kind of looking at my legs and like sort of very, very uncomfortable. During this movie, I got up and went to the bathroom at one point, which is like something I will not do normally if I'm really engrossed in a movie. But I was super uncomfortable, and I had this feeling that something was going to happen. I just didn't want to be in the theater for it. And it turned out, you know, my instincts were very correct. And but this isn't a bad thing. It's just so rare now for movies to get me like that. So actually, it's probably a compliment to the movie that I was like, nope. This movie is a lot like Smile, though. So if you've seen that, you're kind of on familiar footing. The difference, of course, in this movie is that the teenagers have a choice of participating in the activity, and in Smile, the protagonist has no choice. So, but it's a very similar type of situation. So just interesting. But that being said, this movie was really, really well done. It has so much humor in it, and that was really refreshing. And I genuinely laughed a lot. And I think Miranda Otto is just so good as the grown-up in this movie. And I really like that she's in these horror movies. I think she's really good at them, so it's really cool to see her. Okay, so things I enjoyed about this movie: great scares, great humor, overall sense of tension and dread, and I did actually care about Mia. If I had anything I didn't enjoy, it was because of my own discomfort rather than anything the film did wrong. I actually think the movie was really good, especially once you find out it was like the debut film of the guys who wrote it. And so, go you. I really hope we get more from you, because if this is your debut, you guys are probably, you know, really on to something great. But honestly, I think I would give this movie a B+. It wasn't totally an A for me, because I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't want to see it again this early, or at least not right away. I think I would want to wait a while. It's not something that I would just be like, oh, I want to see this right now, right meow, right? No, I'm joking. But it was really good. But also the actors are Australian, and they actually have Australian accents, which is shocking, right? But at times that made it a bit hard to understand. So again, if I watch it again, it's because I'd like to see if I notice certain things, but also to watch it with subtitles at home. However, but overall, it's a really, really good addition to the A24 repertoire, and I honestly can't wait to see what else they have coming, and I would recommend it to anyone who likes a good horror movie. But if you want to get the full sort of immersive effect, definitely see this in a theater, I think. It's worth it. It was really good in the theater, and it was nice because our audience, at least, was mostly just A24 fans, so it was pretty small, intimate, and that probably added to the whole, oh god, creepiness factor, but I think it was really, really good. So anyway, yeah. Thanks for joining me. I will have more reviews coming soon. Hopefully Evil Dead Rise and other stuff. But I just wanted to get this one out there because I think it's just because I was not agreeing with some of the reviews I saw, which is fine. Not, nobody has to have the same opinion. Everybody has a different opinion, which is totally how it should be. But I was just like, I think you're wrong, and I want to make my own video because I think this movie deserves more. But that being said, I also don't think it was the best movie of 2020, best horror movie. I honestly think right now that title goes to Evil Dead Rise. Now, I am really curious to see the other movies coming this year. That Exorcist movie looks really, really scary. I'm excited to see it. I'm going to see the Meg, of course, because it's a shark movie and it looks funny. But that one looks funny. It doesn't really look scary or anything. And I'm probably not going to see the Net, honestly, because I saw the first one and it was so bad. But we'll see. You never know. And I don't even remember what else is coming. But, Five Nights at Freddy's. Definitely see that. The preview looks really, really good for that. So definitely beast. And we're going to Halloween Horror Nights, and I might even film a little there. Definitely will film probably like a reaction video or a video talking about the different houses and whether they were good, and because we do go every year. And so, but anyway, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe, please like. Anything helps, honestly, and it makes me smile to see people subscribe and engage, and otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. So, okay, have a great day or whatever. Thanks.